is just so all the time at such a premium level, which means I know you take care of yourself at the same time. But I thought that that was amazing because a lot of times when people have life changes, whether it's marriage or divorce, or maybe they have a baby or a child goes off to school, like it throws them off their whole rhythm. Like I never saw you lose like your work rhythm. You always like kept that same consistency and that same diligence. And obviously you married somebody that understood, that had the same core values and had big dreams. And she understood that it was going to take really big movement. So I just want to tell you, I really appreciate, where are you at right now anyway? Are you in Miami or where you at? All over
Yes.
the place.
Oh,
You at
we're
home?
home. I have to put on the jersey. We're out here repping.
Hey!
Check it out. Check it out. Miami is a beautiful day today.
Yes!
Vibes and vibes.
Woo, yes. Woo, I love it. I love it. So listen, I'm going to turn it over to you. You got about 15 minutes to just share from your heart, you know, just really talking to the team about building with a sense of urgency right now. We got Dallas coming up. We're just, you know, really, I don't know, 40 something days away from Dallas. And I know we all right now getting it in. China's in Louisiana right now. Sean is on the call. We got a lot of amazing leaders, Dwayne, the Webbs. Everybody's getting it in, but we really wanted to hear from you because I have a lot of respect for you. You dealt with a lot of issues. You've dealt with persecution. You've dealt with when things weren't always right on the corporate side or your team side, but you managed to just stay steady. You had an extreme. Your emotional intelligence is off the chart, right? And I absolutely love that. So I'm gonna turn the call over to you, let you share whatever you feel led to share, because I really want these guys to come to Dallas on a whole nother rank level. I don't want them to get a revelation when they get there, which they will, of course, but I want them to get a revelation now on what they need to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, brother.
Absolutely. Sis, thank you so much for inviting me on this call. I love the fact that I walked into the call and you guys were praying. That's something that, in my opinion, it placing God in the center of my business changed everything for me. And whether it is that you believe in Jesus, whether it is that you believe in Gandhi, whether it is that you believe in Buddha, you got to believe in something bigger, right? And you got to give gratitude for what it is that you believe in, the universe, whatever it is, right? And I install that in my team. And I always say a team that prays together stays together. We just dropped the video yesterday and it started going viral real fast. And I actually received a message from an individual in the video. There's a scene of me and my team praying. And I received a weird comment from somebody that was telling me, they were like, yo, like, why are you involving that inside of business? You should keep the two separated. That makes me feel uncomfortable. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you're not in the right place, because God's hand is over this organization. God's hand is over this team. God's hand is in the center of this business, right? So with that being said, big shout out to you guys for actually involving God, spirituality within your organization. It was a breath of fresh air to jump onto the call and jump right into prayer, right? So again, a team that prays together stays together, right? So I'm super excited to be on this call with you guys. I got about 15 minutes to just really dive into building with a sense of urgency. And as I was thinking about what to talk about on this call, right? Usually I jump onto these calls with notes and I'm super organized, but this is something that I'm able to talk from the heart about, right? Because I don't think that we build, or rather, we do not build with a sense of urgency because I don't think we understand what it is that's at our fingertips, right? 2011 was one of the toughest years of my entire life. It was before I found network marketing. I've been in the industry now for 7 years, guys. I'm only 26 years old. So this is pretty much the only, while my friends were in college, this is what it was that I was doing. While they were graduating, this is what it was that I was doing. While they were working and partying, this is what it was that I was doing. While they were getting internships, this is what it was that I was doing. I'm coming up on my 8th year in network marketing, which means I pretty much have my doctorates in entrepreneurship, which is a blessing, right? But I'll be real, 2011 was one of the toughest years of my life. And the reason being was because I had nothing to look forward to, right? I had nothing that was giving me a sense of purpose. 2012, that was 2011. 2012 is when I found this industry and I immediately became obsessed, right? And I want to talk about addiction, right? Usually addiction has this negative undertone, right? When you're addicted to the wrong things, whether it's addicted to drugs, addicted to sex, addicted to alcohol, when you're addicted to the wrong things, addiction is a bad thing. But when you take that same exact addictive personality and you put it towards something like success, something like results, something like something positive at the end of the day, you're going to get addictive results, right? And I became addicted. I became obsessed with this industry. I became obsessed and addicted to the process. I became obsessed and addicted to the outcome, right? And that doesn't mean that it was easy for me. That doesn't mean that immediately because I decided to go all in with it, that I started seeing results. As a matter of fact, the first 3 years of network marketing, I never made more than 600 to 1,000, 1,500 on a high end a month, guys. And I partnered with Jason, I believe it was 2014. And just that accountability really, really helped me. And that was the first time that I had access, right? Proximity to an individual that wanted to, not just could teach me, because there's a lot of people that can teach you what to do and what not to do, right? You know, John C. Maxwell talks about the law of the lid, and that there's a lid placed on top of our lives, whether it's financially, whether it's in relationships, whether it's spiritually, whether it's in business. And one of the number one ways, there's multiple ways to have the lid removed in your life, right? But one of the best ways to have that lid removed in an expedited process is by getting into proximity with individuals that not only can remove that lid, but want to remove that lid. There's so many leaders, unfortunately, even here in iMarkets Live, in every single company, in every single walk of life, any single business that you do, they're going to be leaders that just kind of ride the wave, right? And what got them there is what's going to continue to just be the thing that pushes them. They're going to receive their checks and they're going to do the bare minimum. I call those C-student entrepreneurs, right? The ones that do just enough in order to get by. But then you have leaders like Julie, you have leaders like China, you have leaders like the Webbs, you have leaders like Mr. Lawrence Young, right? Those are the individuals that actually want to remove the lid in your life, that actually want to go ahead and teach you the skill sets that are needed, the mindset that is needed in order to make this thing happen, right? So I want to highlight just a few things that I believe once you recognize will help you start taking instant action, right? And start building with a sense of urgency. Because at the end of the day, guys, nobody stays at the top forever, right? And I want you to think about momentum like a wave, right? A wave always crashes. So you need to do what it is that all it is, not what it is, all it is that you can do in order to make sure that you capitalize off of that wave at the moment that it is going on, right? That you don't watch that wave pass by you, right? That you don't say, damn, what the heck just happened? And you say, wow, I'm glad I took advantage of that. The first thing that I saw in iMarkets Live that really made me start working diligently and working with a sense of urgency is exactly what I was talking about, the proximity to leaders, right? The proximities to leaders. Guys, when I joined iMarkets Live, it was November of 2015. There were no chairmen. There was no iMarkets Live TV. There was no swipe coin. There was no swipe trades, right? There was no success stories here within the company, right? It was simply a vision. And we have to trust the vision. It's so, for me, when people come in here and say, well, I'm not sure if this is going to work, it blows my mind because there's people, you got Bryce Thompson. I was just sitting with him, 22 years old, just hit Chairman 100. Wow, guys, get this. I didn't know this. He's still a full-time student, taking full-time classes at his university. He's now putting his teachers onto trade. He's making more in a week than his teachers make in an entire year. And he's still in school, guys. And when I see things like that, when I see people winning, when I see individuals like David and Monique, when I see individuals, let's not even talk about the greats, right? Let's talk about the success stories of the individuals that never saw success anywhere else. Let's talk, before me and Jason entered iMarkets Live, I was not a success story. I did not bring this business, an immense amount of people to this business. I wasn't an influencer. I wasn't somebody that had a massive organization. I wasn't somebody that had access to mentors. I was, if not the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of that barrel, right? And iMarkets Live gave me the opportunity to come here and get that done, right? You're seeing the success of so many individuals around you. So you got to ask yourself, is it that it doesn't work, or is it that you don't work, right? And that's a tough question. That's a tough pill to swallow. You got to sit down. You got to ask yourself from time to time some tough questions that'll make you think, that'll make you reevaluate, that'll make you look yourself in the mirror and not like who it is that you're seeing in the mirror, but it's what you do about that that's going to count, right? So it's not often that you get proximity to leaders like this, guys. People pay tens of thousands of dollars. I myself pay for mentorship as well. And I'm telling you right now, nobody mentors for free, right? Nobody sits there and jumps on calls for free, right? There's usually an upsell. There's usually a catch at the end of these calls, right? Right now, you and I are not on the same exact team, but one team, one dream, right? It's this that's going to get this commodity, right? Team commodity. This right here is what's going to bring the company to $1 billion mark, right? So for me, when I see leaders like David and Monique dropping gems for the entire organization and not just closing it off to himself. When I see people like Alex Morton traveling to all markets, right? When I see the CEO of the company, Mr. Christopher Terry, touring as much as I do, guys, literally, the man is touring literally as much as I do. When I see that, I recognize that we have access to high-level individuals, right? Most people, when you go to that corporate job that you work every single day, if you're studying right now, if you're working a regular job 9 to 5, whatever the case is, you do not have access to individuals that truly want to remove the lid off of your life, right? And the reason that we want to remove that lid, the reason that I'm on this call right now is because we are only as strong as our weakest link inside of this group, right? We are only, and that's not just for the team, that's for the entire company, right? If there is a team that is thriving and then there's a team that's dying, you got to take the median of the two, and that is your strength. And your strength is not the highest point. Your strength is that medium, right? And raising that medium is what's going to raise the standard, and raising that standard is what's going to raise all the success stories within this company, right? So that was the first thing that I had to recognize. The leadership here was just uncanny, unmatched, something that was unparalleled. I had been in the industry for 3 years prior to finding iMarkets Live, guys. 3 years prior to finding iMarkets Live, and I had never seen leadership of this caliber that allowed proximity to the organizations in the manner that they do other than iMarkets Live. That was first and foremost, right? The second thing, right, is timing. Guys, I know you guys hear this often, and it may sound cliche, but we're literally just getting started. I want to put something into perspective for you guys. Currently, our goal is $1 billion company. $1 billion company, right? We hit $1 billion. In order to get to $1 billion company, we need an organization of 1 million customers, right? 1 million customers. Now, when we first started setting our standards high, when David came in and said, Matt, we're going to create 100 chairmen, I said, bro, where? I have 2 chairmen in my organization. You want me to create 100? Bro, it took me a year to create 2 chairmen in my organization. And now you're talking about 100 chairmen in my organization. And immediately that stretched my mind. You see, the mind is just like a t-shirt, right? If I were to give Kiki, if I gave you this side of the t-shirt and I took the other side and I ran it across the room, right? And I stretched the t-shirt to, we stretched it until the point that it was about to rip. No matter how many times we dry clean that t-shirt, no matter how many times we wash that t-shirt, no matter how many times we iron that t-shirt, it will never go back to the original size, right? And the mind is the exact same way. Once you stretch your mind and you pull that thing, it'll never go back to the original way, right? And that's what it is that we're doing here. So we have this goal of $1 billion company, 1 million customers. Now, everybody's looking at iMarkets Live, we're saying, wow, we're freaking killing it, right? We are doing our thing. iMarkets Live has roughly around 70 to 75,000 customers. I'm going to repeat that again. Roughly 70 to 75,000 customers. And our goal is 1 million customers. So do you guys understand that we are literally just getting started, right? I want you to think about the plane coming off of the runway, right? The plane, it sits there stagnant for a little bit, right? Idle for a little bit as people are boarding the plane. Once that happens, they give instruction. It starts to move a little bit. Then it starts to pick up speed. Then the nose starts to pick up a little bit, and then it starts to take off. Right now, guys, we are in the idle stage. We are in the idle stage of iMarkets Live, right? When I joined in iMarkets Live in November of 2015, guys, it looked like Windows 1998. Most of you guys would have saw the company and ran away, right? Now you guys have concrete information that this is going to be here. You have concrete information. You see, we're young enough to know that we still haven't popped, but we're old enough to know that we're not going anywhere as an organization. We're here to stay, and we've planted our flag very aggressively and very firmly in the network marketing space, right? So we're just getting started with this thing. Now, years from now, you're not going to be able to say that. Years from now, you won't be able to say, look at your prospects and say, hey, look, this is just the beginning. It'll still be a great opportunity, but it won't be the opportunity that it is today, right? So you got to start taking that sense of urgency, because right now you have the opportunity to get in from the very beginning. You have the opportunity to get this thing started from the start, guys. How many people, how many times have I said, oh my God, I wish I invested in Bitcoin back when it was 300, 400, right? I remember seeing Bitcoin back in the day when it was $300 to $400. And I remember saying like, nah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. 2017 hits. Jason and I are living in the exact same house. And this man walks into my room and he says, Bitcoin was around like $3,000 at this point. And he goes to me, he's like, bro, you walked into my room. And I believe I was watching TV or something like that. It was late at night. He comes in. He's like, bro, you need to buy Bitcoin now. He's like, I have a feeling this is going to skyrocket. And at this time, I was a Chairman 100. I had just cleared $1 million in commissions. I was like, look, bro, get out my room. Get out my room, please. I was like, you're going to tell me about trading? I make more withdrawals than you. You're crazy, bro. Get out my room. We go on tour a few months later. I literally watched Jason. Now, this is no income claims, but call it what it is. I literally watched Jason turn 90,000 into $500,000 while we're on tour. And the feeling that I had, I promised myself I would never, ever, ever, ever take for granted what it is that I have. And I look at iMarkets Live the exact same way. We're looking at iMarkets Live as if Bitcoin was $300, $500. We're just getting started with this baby, right? And at some point, I want y'all to understand something. It's not going to be there forever. It's not going to be at this rate forever. It's not going to be at this price forever. It's not going to be at this timing forever, guys. So y'all need to start making some moves and working diligently enough in order to take advantage, right? Because so what? So what if you have the opportunity of a lifetime? If you don't take advantage of it in the lifetime of the opportunity, right? So I'm telling you guys, opportunity knocks very, 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 very lightly, guys. Very, 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 very lightly. But it knocks loud enough for you to be able to hear, right? Now, whether or not you decide to ignore that knock, or you decide to answer that door and walk through it is completely dependent upon you, right? So we got the leadership, we got the timing. Third thing, when my friends started studying in college and they started going around to these amazing universities, I felt that they were thinking small, not because they were going to school, because honestly, I was talking to my wife not too long ago, and I think I'm going to go back to school. And I'm going to go study music, and it's going to be because I want to, not because I have to, right? Now, you better believe it's not going to take away from my work ethic, but I thought they were working. I mean, they were thinking small, not because they were going to school, rather because they were talking about making 6 figures a year. They were talking about making entry-level $50,000 a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. God gives us the opportunity to hold us down. But at the end of the day, he doesn't want us to stay where it is that we're at. And he constantly wants us to grow, right? And when I thought about success, I got the first time I saw a network marketing company hit $1 billion was a company by the name of Jeanette's, right? It's a skincare company. And I saw them hit $1 billion and I said, man, the individuals that helped that company get to $1 billion, they will forever have on their resume. One of the most influential people that came from that company was Mr. Alex Morton. And he had that on his resume no matter what happened, right? And I think about that. And I look at iMarkets Live and I say, all right, if I had gone to school for accounting, or if I had gone to school for business, or if I had gone to school for whatever the case may be, right, I wouldn't have the opportunity to put on my resume that I helped this company get to $1 billion, right? And that for me is something massive. You have the opportunity to be able to say that, to be able to look people in the face and say, hey, look, I was one of the original 100,000 people in the company before it got to 1 million people, right? I was one of the original 100,000 before it hit that $1 million mark. I mean, that $1 million customer mark, before it hit that $1 billion, which means that you were indirectly and directly responsible for helping this company get to $1 billion. When I see that, when I put that into retrospect, right, that fires me up, because you do not get that opportunity to do something like that. Now, we're at the early stages and we're already working with people like Les Brown. We're already working with people like Mr. Bob Proctor, right? We're already working with people like Mr. Alex Morton, right? So we're at the early, can you imagine the caliber of individuals that we will be working with when we're at that $1 billion mark? We're already making the noise that we're at just less than 100,000 people in the organization. Do you understand the noise that is going to be made when we hit that $1 billion mark, when we bring in 1 million customers into our organization? So take pride in that fact that you have the opportunity to bring something to $1 billion, because I run traditional business outside of network marketing, right? And y'all will never know that, because I don't allow my work ethic to skip a beat, right? I don't care what's going on in my life. If there's too much on my plate, guess what? I got a bigger plate. So I can load more onto that plate, and I can keep this thing going, and I can keep on pushing, because I work best with my back against the wall anyways. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm talking about my traditional business going to 100 million, right? I'm talking about my traditional business going to 100 million. That's my goal, right? My traditional business, brick and mortar, going to 100 million. But meanwhile, I'm talking about $1 billion going with iMarkets Live. You guys understand the difference that's going on here. I own my traditional business. That is my business. But I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it to $1 billion, but I know for a fact we're getting iMarkets Live. I don't own iMarkets Live, but I know for a fact that we are bringing this thing to $1 billion company, right? And that right there is the mentality that you need to have. Right now, you may not be working with a sense of urgency because I don't think you understand the magnitude of what it is that you're involved in, right? I don't think you understand how big this is really going to get, right? And if you knew what I knew, you would do what it is that I do, guys. And the reason that I know what it is that I know is not because I have access to Christopher Terry. It's not because I have access to the corporate staff. It's because I spend 90% of my time on the road inside of markets. It's because I'm always traveling to different teams. It's because I'm seeing it firsthand, right? And because I'm seeing it, forget what people are going to tell me. I've seen it with my eyes. I've seen it right in front of me. I know where this thing is going, right? The last thing I want to leave you guys with before I pass this back on over to my big sister is that first we had the leadership, access and proximity to leadership, right? The next thing we had was the timing. The last thing that we have right now, the next thing that we have from there was the opportunity to throw on your resume that you are bringing this company to $1 billion mark. The last thing that I'm going to say is, guys, in network marketing, again, I've been in the game for 7 years. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the best of the best. We got featured, if you look here, it's somewhere around here. All right, we got inducted into the Millionaire Hall of Fame at the GoPro convention with Mr. Eric Worre. We've been recognized as a company from the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, iMarkets Live. Not even myself or Jason. iMarkets Live was recognized as the company that brought the heat last year in 2018. I mean, this is just blowing up left and right. This is absolutely becoming an amazing thing. And I'm seeing, I have the opportunity to vibe with other 7-figure earners inside of other companies, to hang out with other 6-figure earners, to hang out with coaches, right? And I'm gonna call it what it is. Nobody has the products that we do, guys. Nobody has the products that we do. I wish, if it was compliant, we'd be shutting the industry down with the profits that this team's making, right? If we could post these profits and it was compliant, we'd be shutting the industry down, right? Because our people are really winning over here. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes, guys, on live accounts, people making 6 and 7 figures now. Past profits don't guarantee future results, but I'm allowing you to know that although the past profits don't guarantee future results, if you utilize this platform in the manner that it was intended, you're going to see results, guys. It's like, all right, I'm on this health binge now, right? 2019 came in and me and Jason decided to take our lives back in our own hands in all aspects that we possibly could. And health was at the top of it, right? So I'm spending probably close to 6 figures a year on my health right now, right? And I'm feeling alive, I'm feeling incredible, right? But I realized something. I had a buddy of mine work out with me the other day, and he was working out with me and my trainer, and he goes to me, he's a little hefty dude, and he goes to me, he's like, look, bro, I've been working out for 4 months. I'm dieting, I'm working out, I just haven't seen results. I said, bro, that's impossible. He was like, you calling me a liar? I said, bro, that's literally impossible. How are you going to tell me you've been doing the right things and not seeing results? I said, bro, if you're, and then I started checking his habits, and he wasn't doing the right thing, right? We started breaking down. And the reason I do this is to build him back up, right? So we started breaking him down. What is he eating? How's his sleep patterns? If you guys are eating the right things, right? You're on a low carb diet, high protein diet, insane amount of vegetables coming in, you're fasting, you're eating during certain times, right? You're doing the right thing. Then you're getting your proper sleep in order to replenish those muscles, right? You're getting your proper rest days, right? You are working out 5 times a week, and there's sufficient workouts, not going in there and hanging out on your phone, right? You're getting your cardio in. It is literally impossible. It is literally impossible for you not to see results on your body. And I tell people the exact same thing with business, right? If you're doing the exact same things that you're supposed to be doing, and I check your habits and they are correct, it's only a matter of time until you start seeing results. It's literally impossible. And I hate that word impossible, but it is impossible not to see results if you're doing the right things, right? And if you're utilizing this platform in the manner that it's supposed to be used, and you're going through the platform, you're utilizing the strategies, you're utilizing the products. Guys, I'm not the best trader in the world, but I still make withdrawals. I run an organization of over 50,000 active subscribers, but I'm still making withdrawals. I'm still making profits in the cryptocurrency markets. Guys, you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a Chris Derrick or a Christopher Terry in order to make this thing happen. You just got to put in that time. You got to put in the want. You got to put in the desire. You got to put in the want to accomplish these aspirations, right? You guys need to highlight those things in your life because these products are making people money. Now, here's the thing. Back in the day, we had one or two products, right? Now, I want you to think of it like this. We have a pond, we have a lake, right? And there's one waterfall coming into this lake. Let's say that there's a drought, right? And that waterfall is no longer flowing. Or if we put a dam in the way, right? And that dam could be people, negative people in your business. That dam could be things that are out of your control, things that are in your control, whatever the case is, it's blocking the source of water, right? That lake is eventually going to dry up. That lake is eventually going to dry up and you're not going to have any source of water for the ecosystem anymore. But now what happens if you have 6, 7, 8, 10 different sources of water? If one shuts off, the pond and the lake doesn't feel it. The ecosystem doesn't feel it. We're still drinking, right? And that's what it is that we've done over the past few years with iMarkets Live. Myself and Jason are behind a lot of the product development here within the organization, right? We brought in a lot of the traders that are teaching your teams how to trade. We've developed a lot of the platforms that you're utilizing right now, right? During masterminds and experience, right? So I'm letting you guys know right now, I understand if we had one source and that source stopped, right? But right now, there's about 8 different ways in order to make money in iMarkets Live. What's your excuse if you're not making money? There's about 8 different ways in order to make money within iMarkets Live. If you're into binary options, we bodied that already, right? If you're into cryptocurrencies, we bodied that already, right? If you're into Forex, we bodied that times 10 already, right? And guess what? If you're into stocks, you heard it first, but we're already trying to formulate a platform in order to teach you guys how to trade stocks. If it's moving in the markets, we can teach you how to trade it, right? Because technical analysis is technical analysis at the end of the day. And due to the fact that we've created the platform that we have, we've attracted some of the best educators worldwide to partner here with iMarkets Live, right? So there's about 8 different ways in order to get paid. If you're not getting paid, it's because you're not working. It's not because the system doesn't work, right? So with that being said, guys, you have 6 months left. Yeah, I feel like it was just yesterday. I feel like it was just yesterday that we were celebrating New Year's Eve. Like I legit feel like it just happened and 6 months passed by like this. Now, fortunately, for the years before, I had never accomplished my goals, right? I had never accomplished my aspirations. I had never accomplished my New Year's resolutions, right? Some of them I did, most of them I didn't. And they were all reasons of my own. So this year, 6 months in, I've accomplished every goal that I wanted. But guys, I'll never tell you to do something I don't do on my own. I'm still in the beginning phases just like you every single day inside of my head, guys. So January 3rd of 2019, I created this vision board, right? I said that I wanted to do more yachts. We've been on about 5 or 6 yachts already. I said I wanted to get closer to God. We've been doing that. I said that I wanted to get my traditional business popping. We've been doing that. I said I wanted to write more music. We've been doing that. I said I wanted the Lamborghini, and that's exactly what it was that we got. I said I wanted to do more outdoor things. That's exactly what it is that we're doing. We're going to Canada, Japan. I mean, we're always hiking. I said that I wanted to compete in certain things. I have my first competition coming up in September. I said I wanted to eat better, and we're doing exactly that. Wanted to value my marriage. We're doing exactly that. This is going to happen with iMarkets Live, packed out stadiums, more Gucci, more traveling, fitness. You see what's going on, guys? Give me a second. What's going on, guys, is that we're accomplishing those goals. Now, you have 6 more months, right? You have 6 more months to make this thing happen. Some of you guys already fell off your goals. Some of you guys fell off your goals come January. And then some of you guys have accomplished every single one of your goals that you wanted to. But you got 6 months, right? If you're the individual that hasn't accomplished those goals that you set up in January, then you have 6 months. That's it. Time is ticking, and time don't wait for nobody, right? But if you're one of those individuals that pass those goals, start setting higher goals. Start setting higher limits, right? In order for you to break. Because thinking small is playing no one justice whatsoever. We got 6 months, right? And we have a freaking sick midway point coming up in September at the Dallas IM convention. Now, I can't talk about what's going to go down there. I've been sworn to secrecy. They made me sign an NDA and all. But I'm letting you know right now, guys, that iMarkets Live after September will never be the same company again. I'm letting you guys know this. I want you to understand something. I've rank advanced every single event. Every single event, whether it was 90 to 120 days in between. I took my organization from chairman 10 to chairman 500 in a 1.5 to 2 year span by simply promoting these events. And not, if you took all the events that we've had so far, the Vegas events, the Miami events, the old school ones like Dallas back in the day, right? You took all those events and you added them together, it would not scratch the surface of what's going to happen in September. You know, I've heard the term, oh, IML's getting a facelift. Nah, IML's getting a whole redo makeover, guys. And it's not just the way it looks, but the way it operates. I'm letting you guys know right now, on a building side and on a trading side, what this company is about to do for us. I'm letting you know most companies will not invest the time nor the money in order to gain the resources to make this thing happen. We've already sold more tickets for this event. We're at, I think, roughly like 3,500, 4,000 tickets right now. We've never sold that many that far out. IML always waits last minute to buy tickets, and we slam the room 6,000 plus. I truly believe that this is going to be 8 to 10,000, right? Now, I've been working very closely with corporate, and it's not just going to stop there. Come January/February, we have our European convention, right? Then after that, we're going to have our South American convention. Then after that, another United States convention, a chairman retreat. I mean, this company is bringing this thing next level, and I could not be more excited, humbled, and appreciative to be in the position that we're in today, not just because I'm a Chairman 500, but to be associated with this company at the early stages. It's like hanging out with Steve Jobs when he was building Apple outside of a garage. I'm letting you guys know right now, we are literally just scratching the surface. So start building diligently, start building with a sense of urgency, and understand that this bad boy, the nose hasn't even taken off the runway. So with that being said, Jewel, thank you so much for having me on here. God bless you. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys over at the Dallas convention. Let's go.
Thank you. We love you.
Love you too, sis. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye. Oh my gosh, leaders, did you guys hear that? Did everyone hear what just happened?
Let's go!
Did you hear this? Dwayne, Augustine, China, I mean, what do we say to those things? China, I think the thing that stuck out to me the most out of everything that he just said was him going over his vision board.
Absolutely.
And him talking about how he's spending 6 figures on his health.
Yes.
That was major.
Yes. Yeah.
And because, go ahead, babe.
No, go ahead. Go tell because.
Well, I was just going to say that because I think that most people aren't able to really get the grind in because they're just too tired. You know, like I told you, you know, how I come to Atlanta. Well, I'm doing it here now too, but a couple times I've been to Atlanta. I told China to meet me at this spa, girl, where they do colonics, they do saunas, they do hydration therapy. I'm going to Detroit next week. I called Dr. Grace and said I'm coming. Like, when you sit down and they hook you up and put all your good vitamins, B, C, E, like that stuff becomes necessary. Like this is my breakfast, this water right here and this bag of cucumbers, right? Wow. So, yeah. So anyway, go ahead, girl, because I'm just
that's really good. And the longevity of it, you know, Matt and Jason have been on board longer than almost anybody outside of Gary Roberts and probably Austin Ghazi, and the longevity of it and not losing that momentum along the way, because the truth of the matter is, in business, in order to take it from nothing to $1 billion, it has to go through some ups and downs. It has to have some hiccups along the way. There's going to be some growing pains, and to be able to stick through the longevity and increase momentum throughout, like that's seriously a skill set, and you have to have that vision. So the vision board does keep you grounded to know that, you know, the higher highs and higher lows, and so it's still an uptrend, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have higher highs, but also higher lows along that process. And just the value of sticking it out was just absolutely amazing. And just the clarity of vision, you know, being saying, and health is going to be something that's so important. Jewel, you hit the nail on the head with that one, because you said some people can't get to where they need to go because they're so tired, and they're so tired because maybe their eating habits, the lack of working out, all these different things, you know, and then our mind is running like a million a minute with all these distractions sometimes that life just brings. And, you know, you have to be centered and focused. And so I'm just excited. We constantly say what's going to happen in September is going to change the game. But I'm so happy that the team is hearing it from everybody, so they know it's not just, we can't say what we want to say, but I hope we're saying enough to make everybody on this call saying, I have to be there to not just be a part of history, but for me to plant my flag and for my legacy and my family to be able to ride this wave as well that's going to take place. Because sometimes you just got to see it. I'm just excited. That's you.
I know, girl, you know, and it just makes me recommit to, it's so funny because I literally I just sent out a text, and I kind of did it to the prayer team, and I should have sent it to everybody, but I just sent out a text that the next 3 days, I'm just like trying to do like raw food, fresh juice, because now I'm getting to a point where I'm really sensitive that if I eat what I'm not supposed to eat, then I know I'm not feeling like I'm supposed to feel. And we just don't have time to be sluggish. We don't have time to have aches or pains or headaches or stomach aches or like any of that stuff. And so that means that you almost have to become, when you get to a point where you live a lifestyle of just being on a detox, or you're just eating healthy all the time. So, Dwayne, Augustine, what was like you guys' aha moment on this call today? Because this is amazing.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me, Dr. Jewel?
Yeah, I do. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I love that. He gave some jewels around, along the whole conversation, the proximity to leaders, taking advantage of the timing, and just different things he gave along the call. But just like you and Dr. China just said, just the focus and the clarity. He went to his vision board, and almost his entire vision board was accomplished. So. And many of us, I'm not sure if we all can say that, that most of our vision board has been accomplished, or most of our, New Year, whatever goals you set for the year has been accomplished. So, I think it's just that laser focus. What I want to say real fast is just that maybe when we have 55 days or so, 55 days leading into Dallas, I think people, come on now, y'all, we get a little, in rush mode. Okay, I got to hurry up and get it going. I got to hurry up and get to my level. I got to hurry up and make it happen. But how do I, where do I zero in on? So it's really focus. Focus is the word I want to say, is focus. I love when we have good calls like this, but you got to take the energy and the fire and the strategies that's shared and bring it back to the core. The core is, 4 to 6 presentations a week. You know what I mean? That's still the core. 4 to 6.
Yeah, right.
What should I be focused on, Dwayne? That's what everybody's asking me as I go to different markets. Well, Dwayne, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What are you doing? How do you do it? I do it because I focus. I keep the main thing. I don't let any call get me off my focus. I get excited. I get refueled. I get fired up. Matt has that energy in his voice, so I'm getting all charged up in my energy, but I'm still focused on the main thing. Focus on the main thing. How many times are you showing the plan? Because that's what gets you to grow your team. How many times are you showing the plan? Focus. How did he get all that stuff to happen? He focused on getting the message of iMarkets Live out. How did he get that new company? Because he focused on iMarkets Live. iMarkets Live funded that new company. How did he get this, that, and the other? He focused on showing the plan. That allowed him to go ahead and do these other things and get the Lambo and get the extra Gucci and all that stuff on the board. He had to focus on what's the main thing, which is showing the plan. So I don't want everybody to leave this call and just be all charged up and then go do something that doesn't push the plan forward. Push the goal. So get off this call and okay, let's go show the plan. And I should be getting messages from people right now. Hey, I got somebody I just showed the plan to. Let's close the deal. So let's focus on showing the plan more than we ever have in these last 50 days. That's what I'm focused on. That's a top priority for me, because that's going to get me the vision board accomplishment. So yeah, just that focus.
Yeah, that's good, Dwayne. And making sure that, we're focusing on leaders and really, really, really being serious about how many people am I working with right now to hit Platinum 1000? How many people right now am I working with? How often am I talking to them? And I think that, and it's interesting because you can already be doing something. And this is why these calls are so important. My God, because you can already be doing something, but sometimes you need to hear it a different way. Because, trying to tell you, I'm always talking about health and what I'm eating and real mindful of it. But hearing him, it's like you said, Dwayne, it brought a whole nother level of a layer of focus. Like, this is extremely important that this is what you eat, because you don't have time to be talking about, you tired, or this is hurting, or that's hurting, and all of this, that, and the third. And I think that's the average person. And even if something is not hurting, if you don't have the energy to work the extra couple of hours at night, or work the couple of extra hours in the morning, then you're still like not going to end up accomplishing your goals because you're not going to be able to keep employee hours, right? And really say, I'm going after chairman money, right? It doesn't work that way. So that's all really good. And I hope we're all kind of, yes.
Before you wrap, it was one more thing that really stood out. And I think it's so important to have these people in our life. He said that it was one of his friends who was also on this health journey with him. And he said, man, I've been doing this for 4 months and nothing has happened. And when we look at our business, how many people are saying, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And like he told him, he had to be accountable to him out of love because I care for you. I got to call you on this. I can't let you bring those excuses to me and pretend like I'm co-sign that or get an agreement with that. That's impossible. It's impossible if you're eating this way. It's impossible if you remove this from your diet. It's impossible if you're really working out and not just sitting on your phone for you not to have any results at all. And it's the same, like he said, like that was such a point that he brought up, because sometimes we do it to other people, but most of the time we do it to ourselves. We start to, we get an agreement that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and nothing is happening. And when we do that to ourselves, then it doesn't encourage you to do more. It encourages you to do less.
Say that part one more time.
If I consistently tell myself I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do and it's not working, that's not going to encourage me to do more. It's going to encourage me to do less. Sometimes you are doing the right things. You're just not doing enough of it. So when Dwayne talked about those 4 to 6 presentations a week, it's not new information. We've heard it. So maybe you have done the presentation, but because you haven't done 4 to 6 presentations a week, you haven't been able to break that line of resistance for you to start to get the results that you need. But because you're constantly saying, I'm doing it and it's not working, it's not going to encourage you to do more. It's going to encourage you to do less.
Ooh, girl.
Let's go.
That you're so right. If you keep telling yourself I'm doing everything I know to do, then subconsciously you're going to start pulling back.
Yeah.
When you really should have been pressing in.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that's strong.
This call was really, really powerful. I saw that Pastor Carl just put it up, so I'm excited to be in Virginia tomorrow. We can start this thing right now. I mean,
right now,
like that. It's even stuff like that. Let's just be honest for a moment, because we all got to take responsibility, but this call is about accountability, right? How many of us are leveraging the resources? This call is a resource, and every time I look at this call, Jude, you know, I'll call you on it and I'll be like, Jude, you know, and it probably shouldn't frustrate me, but when we got this kind of value on the call, sis, I'd be mad that these numbers ain't 300 to 500 people on the call, because I know we got people on the team right now sleeping. And I know we got people on the team right now, you know, that's on another call or doing something else or just forgot. Like, we got to want this thing so bad that I'm on a call on Friday and I forgot that the call wasn't on Friday. That's how bad you got to want this. At 11 o'clock on Sunday or Saturday, I'm on a call and I forgot we don't have it. That's how bad I want it. I don't need nobody to text me. I don't need them to put it in the team map. This right here is so real. And as we go into 2020, things are going to change so drastically that we got to put ourselves in position where we take a responsibility. So we got resources like the Rise and Profit Call. We got resources like when leaders are in certain markets. Like, why not flood it like it's your event? Why does it just have to be who the event is for that's going to benefit from it, instead of you saying, man, listen, Dr. China going to Virginia, let me see who I know that knows somebody. Whether you know someone or not, Dr. Jewel going to be where they got an event happening in Detroit with all of those leaders. Let me see who I know that knows somebody. Just in case you don't know nobody in Detroit, who do I know that knows someone in Detroit? So I'm going to promote it like it's mine. When we get to that space, then we start to properly leverage and we don't feel so lethargic for everything that we're doing. Now we're leveraging the system and we're leveraging the leaders and we're operating this like an operation. So I'm in a different space right now. And I'm telling you, like, I literally, you probably saw Jules started to do something new campaign, because when I started my new business, it came with so many different, like, the experience was like, there was so many times that I was like, okay, go do it now. Then I was like, wait, I'm not ready yet. Wait, it's not perfect. Wait. This is me at this level. And I literally, my daughter, my 18-year-old had to really slap me out. She said, Mom, Mom, it is okay to start something new. Her words was, it's okay to not be a pro at everything. If you're doing something new, obviously you're not going to be a pro in the beginning at it. Just like go, just do it. And I had to realize that, wow, that it had been a minute. And so I decided and dedicated to do 100 new things before 2019 is out, to get into the habit of just newness. I don't care if I say I like it. I don't care if I say I wasn't going. I don't care if I said I don't eat it. I'm doing 100 new things before we go into 2020. And I urge you to join in on this, because some people not only don't do nothing new, right? Everything is still same and familiar, but some of us procrastinate so bad, we always put it off, and we just need to jump. So with that being said, promote these events, benefit from these events, and let's go to Dallas and straight up shut it down and expose as many people as possible to what we have.
Shut it down. Yes, girl. Oh my gosh, that's good. Right. Because some of y'all need to get like Pastor Carl and just go to Walmart and start prospecting people. You have to stay fresh. Because if not, you'll get old and stale. And the reason your stuff ain't working is because the reason you're not willing to do nothing new. Sean, I saw you want to get in here on real quick before we get right back. Sean. Augustine, what's up?
Hey, Dr. Drew, thanks. I love what Dr. China said. But I think one thing that stood for me, this quote that, Matt Rose said, this is actually the beginning of this company. And we've seen a lot of company been here for years. And I can actually feel that for any of us who decide to put in the work right now, this is the time. I was telling one of my team members earlier on that this is the time to put your flag in iMarcus life. You know, if iMarcus life was just told the story 10, 20 years from now, you know you were a part of the story. I think that's what really stood for me, that when the story is being told to generations, your name will be among the story, the history that came up from iMarcus life. So this is like at the right time, the timing kicked in, and iMarcus life is not even gone anywhere yet. We're just warming up. So I believe that it's the time that we all get to work and plant our flag straight into the heart of iMarcus life. So I think that what really stood for me, really, really powerful. And on top of that, Dr. Drew, humble request, I want to be part of your prayer group. So just let me in. I want to be part of that.
Yes, absolutely, Augustine. I got you. That's good. It's time to plant the flag, like for real. Sean James.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
wow.
Us out, bro.
Man, look, first of all, let me get my camera right if I can. Okay, look, first of all, I can never follow Dr. China. I always try to get before her because she always just blows it up, and I'm just like, man, she got me again. I can't come behind you like that. Man, too powerful. Look, my little comment, look, all I got to say is the biggest thing.
That was not little, it's big. We want to hear it.
Look, littlest thing that not the littlest thing, but the biggest thing I got, I'm always honored to see the leaders. Dr. China, Dwayne, Nathan, everybody. It's great to see you guys because let me add this real quick. Dr. Jewel got me eating right too. Here's my book here. It's called Live Raw. So I'm doing all the smoothies. I'm doing that because she's doing a smoothie. Every time I speak to her on the freeway in the morning, she's drinking some green cookie smoothie. So I'm doing it now. We're fasting. We're cleaning up, getting ready for this Dallas event, getting the health right. But the biggest thing was work ethic. The thing that I found is that Matt Rose was talking about his work ethic. When you don't see it, when you don't see what's ahead of you, you still work. And I admire Dr. Jewel and Dr. China, all the leaders, Randy Webb, everybody, that when you don't see it, she's still working. These ladies are still grinding. Augustine's still grinding. Everybody's doing it. So the thing is, I think too many of us are still trying to tell ourselves or not believing in ourselves enough to say, this is working, to start connecting and jumping into overdrive on the work ethic. That's the part I wanted to bring apart, is stop questioning, is this going to work? You now heard a gentleman who makes $500,000 every month, $1 million every other month, okay, who's telling you they didn't have swipe trade, they didn't have IML TV, they didn't have nothing, but he worked like he had everything. And so now we have the nerve to question whether it's going to work or not when those leaders had only a fraction of what we have now. So don't fear the work ethic. Just work, keep your head down. Pastor Carl is an excellent accountability partner for me. So we're just talking about working. We never really even concentrate on just results. We just put in the work. And so that's how I want to close it out. So thank you so much. And yeah, do your thing, Dr. We always appreciate you. Thank you so much for being the incredible leader that you are and all the other leaders who are having this platform.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you, Sean. That was good stuff. All right, I love you guys. Let's make it work. Let's do what it do. Get these 3 ways done and push these people to P1000. Let's go.